smart guy. I'm all for that. He deserves it. He definitely deserves it. I mean, he cheated with the shank, but nice play there. What a man. What a...
What's going on, ladies and gents? Your boy FGC Gama, and I'm here with a man that needs no introduction. FChamp, Filipino champ. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good.
Yeah. So we at ELEAGUE, man.
Yeah.
We're at ELEAGUE. We just all watched that disheartening match. I mean, shout outs to Shin for doing this thing. But at the end of the day, I do have to ask you, how do you feel right now, bro?
I mean, obviously, it's pretty obvious that my heart is kind of broken right now, right? Because it's so close. It was very down to one decision. There was like 3 decisions in a row that could have been 50-50-50, but I guess wrong on 3 occasions. It was it's kind of annoying in a sense, but I have to be positive instead of like being negative. I try not to dwell on the negative side of things and try to look at things in the bright side, right? Because it's not like I'm gonna retire today, right? That this is the end all be all, right? This is like, I'm still gonna go to tournaments, and there's like 70 tournaments, and I got my game coming, Marvel. So I have to be positive and not let negative things like this affect my future performances or my career in general. Because, you know, I don't think there's any lack of accomplishments as far as like, you know, what I've done in the fighting games. Like, I won like, you know, 30 plus majors, etc. You know, so it doesn't hurt my confidence in a sense. I know I'm always capable of like winning. It's just a matter of like, if it's my time that day or not. It's always try to look at it that way. And at the same time, I want to look at my mistakes. I always try to rewatch what I did, so I can improve on the little things for my future matches, you know?
Right, absolutely. And speaking of that, man, you know, I did kind of catch some of Born Free's interview with you. Shout outs to Born Free. And like you said, man, you do have a lot of confidence. You're actually known for being a confident guy who's also outspoken. Said a lot of things in that interview, so I'm not going to ask you the same questions.
Go ahead,
But I do want to know, man, at this point, right? Is there anything that could be done to your character or to the game to make you feel like, yes, this is an amazing game?
To improve the game, there's so much to do for the game, but I think I don't think they have to change my character. I think my character is fine. My character is very much capable of winning, you know, certain matchups in a sense, but I think there's just a game mechanic problem overall for the, you know, in Street Fighter V. And there's also like maybe 3 or 5 characters that may be a little bit too much compared to the rest of the cast. So if you imagine, let's just say there's like, let's just say there was no Ibuki, there was no Balrog, there was no Laura or Urien, and I don't know, Nekali. Like those 5 characters to say. Then I wonder how the game would be. It would probably be less explosive, because you know, those characters that I mentioned, like they really win in like 2 touches, you know. I mean, I'm sure there's still like an exception, like there's like some Zangief, some Birdies, some Bison or Rashid here and there, but you know, I'm just saying, like if they maybe just tone down the damage and the explosiveness of the game, a casual fan would actually enjoy and appreciate the amount of dedication and skill to be good in this game. Because right now, you know, you could be a new guy and you could actually beat a pro player just because of you guessed wrong, you got to jump in or a dash and you got a crush counter and you could win. And it's kind of like so disrespectful to all the hard work that the other players has put in, you know. But I understand, it's a new game in a sense. You know, this is, to be honest, this is our 13th month of Street Fighter V. Street Fighter 4 has been out for 7 years. So this is, we have to like at least be patient. You know, it's only been 13 months. Can't be too negative in a sense. I mean, I wish that I could change the game how it is. Might not just, it's not meant to be, you know.
Well, you know what, that's definitely something to consider. Like as you said, the game really hasn't been out that long for us to just kind of write it off completely, you know what I mean? So there is a lot of hope. And speaking of hope, another question that you've probably been asked already, but I would like to know, is there any characters that have not yet been announced that you would like to see in Street Fighter V?
I mean, I answered this like a few interviews. I said like I want Sagat to be in the game. I want the characters that the fans want. Because at the end of the day, the goal here is to make money and produce sales for Capcom, right? And if they're releasing characters that nobody really wants, and they keep releasing characters that I would say, you know, that's new. I understand there's room for new characters because you want to grow your franchise, but you got people. They hosted polls, right? Of like who they want, and number 1 and 2 is Sagat and Cody.
Yes.
Just release those guys. Release Sakura, somebody that they want. If the goal here is to, because the game didn't really sell that good in the beginning, right? Now it's just picked up some steam, but if you want to keep the momentum, start releasing what the fans want.
Okay.
Because the fans will give you money. Like shit, I will pay for Sagat, Cody, and Sakura, right? You know, release those characters that people want.
Right.
You know, don't give me like Colleen. Like seriously, Colleen. Like, what am I gonna do with that? You know.
And I hate fighting against it, so I gotta agree with you, man. You know, but let me ask you this though: is there any characters that have never been in any Street Fighter that you would like to see in the game? Because I know that's kind of maybe the angle they're taking. Brand new game, brand new fighters, etc. So do you, or even if it has been like, let's say a Q, for example. I've heard rumors about that. Do you have any interest in those characters being in the game?
I think at this point, those could be all like subjective depending which person you're talking to, in a sense, right? But because they have their own favorites. I think if we're gonna bring a character that's not from Street Fighter, we have to bring something like, I don't count Rival Schools as Street Fighter because it's a whole new title. So maybe since it's all Capcom, maybe add one from Rival Schools instead of Sakura if you really want to hold up with Sakura, right? Or you want to add like maybe somebody from Darkstalkers, but not as broken. You could tone him down because Darkstalkers is kind of like a semi-Marvel game, but Street Fighter 5 is like Marvel anyways. Street Fighter 5 is like Marvel anyways, right? It's like with no push block. So at
any
this
particular
point,
characters in mind when you said those two games that come?
Darkstalkers. Maybe you could add like, let me see. They had Morgan in CBS 2. And she was okay. Maybe you could add the Morgan version for Street Fighter 5, right?
I never
like, you know what I'm saying?
That might work,
That's how you expand, like, you know, that's how you expand your, I would say, your brand or your game in a sense. Because if you own Nike, but then your brother owns Adidas, I mean, aren't you guys supposed to collaborate? You own both companies anyways, so just do it.
So you would like to see more crossovers in the Street
I mean, like
Fighter
maybe
game.
just if they're gonna have a crossover, then like look at prime example would be NRS community, right? You know, they had a Mortal Kombat, but then they had a Mortal Kombat game. Then they had like a different character there. They had like Injustice, and they had what do you call this? They have Sub-Zero. They have Scorpion in Injustice versus the DC characters. All right, for Mortal Kombat 9 or X, I think. I'm not sure entirely. Oh yeah, 9. They had Freddy Krueger or something. I think. Right.
You they even brought Jason. I think at one point.
They have Jason in Mortal Kombat X. But if you think about it
so
can
much
work.
Potential, basically.
It can happen.
So do you feel like they're playing it too safe? Is that kind of what's going on right now? Like they're not taking those deep dives like you're talking about?
I think it's just maybe Capcom needs better direction when it comes to ideas. I think they have amazing staff when it comes to the esports side of things. You know, you got like John D. Amazing guy, and you got like Combo from working on Marvel. Then you got Damon working for the community and stuff. But then I don't think. How about the other guys in the backs? I don't know who's there, but maybe the people who comes up with ideas of like what to release and what it should be in the game are not really that sharp in a sense, right?
It's like, a nice way to put it,
yeah, like why would you do that? Like seriously, like if I was like the board member or stockholder, and then you got two guys presenting an idea, they got a formal presentation for which one they should, this is my idea versus the other guy's idea. The other guy said, my idea is I want Capcom to make a lot of money, so let's release Sagat, Sakura, and Cody. Let's bring also stage like that's from very nostalgic from Street Fighter 2. Let's say like the Dojo Ryu, for instance, right? Also, let's also add like DLC costumes for all the characters, and we could sell them for $4 a piece, right? That's my pitch, right? Okay, and then you got the other guy. Well, I think we should explore and add new characters that even though nobody really voted for them, let's only release costumes for Chun-Li and Ryu, because 98% of people only playing Chun-Li and Ryu, right? So maybe we could save money on that. And how about maybe we can keep doing server maintenance, but not really improve, right? So that's his idea. First, the other guy's idea, and then you got Ono-san. That's a good idea. Pick that, and there you go. That's why we have Street Fighter V right now.
Sounds like you might have been a fly on the wall in a couple of meetings, right? No. Actually,
but you know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of that. You don't have to be a genius to come up with that answer that I just gave you. You don't have to be a genius. Like that is like that's everybody's thoughts. Yeah. What I'm telling you, right? That's everybody's thoughts.
And none of us seem to be able to figure it out as far as what's holding them back from making those obvious decisions. Right?
We want to give them our money. Like why don't you want to take it?
So hopefully someone at Capcom is going to watch this and hear this out and see if they need to do a public poll or whatever they need to do to be more engaged.
They hosted a public poll twice.
Yeah.
And they still released Colleen. Like
I tried Capcom. I'm trying to help you guys out, but
this is crazy. So to me, it was just like, what's this? This is lost hope.
Yeah. Well,
at this point, right? But then, at the end of the day, if you look at the positive side of things, the esports side of Street Fighter is growing. That's great. And I love Capcom for that. You know, supporting the community. I love that. Also, the game is new. Yeah. 14 months, 13 months. So in a sense, it's not so bad, right?
Yeah. And speaking of that, let's talk about some of the things you do like, because it seems like we can go on forever about the dislikes and what we want changed, etc. Let's talk about esports. You just mentioned that. I remember years ago when I first interviewed you, I was asking everyone the question, what do you think about a fighting game league? How do you feel about a fighting game league? I know it sounds far-fetched, but what are your thoughts on that?
I would be open for that, like I feel like as a top player, like you should like support those things, like because it wouldn't hurt you. In the end, it will just make the community bigger and better.
And some of us were like, what? How? And now we're here at ELEAGUE. What are your thoughts on that, man? The FGC still seems to be a little standoffish, when it comes to ELEAGUE, esports and FGC. What do you think?
So there's always going to be traditionalists, right? And there's always going to be some people that's like all for the progression, right? And at around 2015, they're trying to introduce esports slowly, but there's a lot of people against it. Yeah. But they've seen the Capcom Pro 2015 was wonderful. They've seen the trailer Street Fighter V ran there, right? They've seen Street Fighter V was released 2016. Evo was grand. Yeah. Then they got 2016. They got Street Fighter V. They got Evo, ESPN. Eventually, the fans kind of got used to it and starting to love the esports side of things. Right. So now, if you think about it, the ELEAGUE, the South by Southwest, the invitational tournaments has been producing great numbers when it comes to ratings versus to the traditional tournament. Right. I don't want the traditional grassroots tournaments to go away because that's needed for the cycle of life. Because that's where you create top players, upset storylines for the invitationals, right? So, but the invitationals, what is good is that from the gate all the way until the end of it, it's very action packed because you have all the good players with personality in a sense. Right. Versus the tournaments, like the grassroots tournaments, they're good because over in bracket, but you don't really get to see the good matches. Maybe you probably get to see 8 good matches per, from day one. Yeah. And that's an upset usually. Yeah. Out of like 14 hours of streaming, you get like 8, max 10 good matches. Max, like maybe 7 matches, Yeah. And then only the good one will be top 8, but then top 8 lasts for like 2 hours. Right. That's it. Yeah. So I feel like it's very counterproductive, to produce if you're gonna try to sell the game, right, in a sense, right? You wanna have like a shorter duration, but also all quality in a sense, right? So that's why Invitationals has been thriving in a sense. So I don't know what's the happy balance when it comes to that, Right. But so, I'm a fan of both. You need the open bracket, but we need to have more invitationals. I was just going to say that, man. Based on everything that you just said, it sounds like you are a fan of ELEAGUE. Oh, very, and very again, much. I did see the interview that you did with Born Free, and you kind of expanded on just how much you enjoy ELEAGUE. But I'm just going to ask you again, how has your experience been so far? We are here at ELEAGUE, by the way. It's great. And despite you not making it all the way, what do you think, man? What are your thoughts? Dude, my room at ELEAGUE is just ridiculous. Like, I stay in a Renaissance hotel in Midtown, and my room is just like a super suite. You know what I mean? Like, you got the front desk calling me, waking me up. Yes. I asked for like a bunch of. You got pictures on Instagram? No. Oh, you got to get a pop. And then like, come on, man, you got to let us know. And then like, I get here from the airport and stuff. I got my driver with my name, FChamp, in the, you know, in baggage claim, like, and I go ride. You know, it's like a long ass black, you know, SUV.
Wow.
You know, they open my door and
windows,
stuff.
right?
Yep. Tinted. I feel like a president. You know what I'm saying? Like I go there, sit there, and you know, it's chill. Like I don't even have to say anything.
Right.
I be like, hey, what's up? How's it going?
Yeah.
He's your professional. Opens the door for me. I sit down. He's there. Do you want any water or any sweets or something? No, no, I'm good. And he just takes me to my destination.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I go to the hotel. I go to the front desk. Hey, you know, it's me, Ryan. I show my ID. I was gonna give my credit card for incidentals. Oh no, everything's taken care of.
Right.
I was like, all right. Then they gave me a swag bag of a bunch of good, right?
Yeah.
And it was just such a good experience. And then I come here. They have a shuttle ready to pick me up. I come here. We got a whole catering service.
Yeah.
We have like different staff to like
food
walk me to to walk me to like it's like I want to go to the bathroom. Oh no, don't, it's right here. And they, why do you have to like walk me there? You know, but I appreciate all of them together, right? It's just something that
full accommodation.
Yes, like no complaints. Like if there's anybody that can complain about the ELEAGUE, like how they treat the players, like dude, they first of all, the guy who's gonna complain is probably on some drugs. Or drunk. That's the only explanation. Because, you know, after this, they can take us to. Oh, by the way, there was a lunch of our players. We had a meetup around noontime for lunch, right? And it was a very expensive restaurant, etc. So it was kind of cool, like that. Everything was like ready to go. And you got like Kenny, who's like amazing at like organizing the whole thing and constantly updating players with the emails. Oh, hey, if you're gonna be late by 5 minutes, we're gonna have the shuttle turn around and maybe get you like that. Like so updated by the minute.
You're not gonna want to go to a normal tournament after this, man. Like I mean, you've been like on king status for a minute here.
I've been traveling and you know, I've been to a lot of tournaments and you know, nowhere. Like I've been that's close to this. The second best one would be, I would say, Red Bull Battlegrounds.
Okay.
That was great as well. It was very similar accommodations. It was very good, very well organized. So
absolutely. So it just sounds like, again, like you said, we do need both invitationals as well as the grassroots.
And
you encourage anyone that's apprehensive or looking at this as like overly produced to like, you know, maybe just take a step back and embrace it.
This is like, imagine EVO, right? EVO is the biggest open bracket tournament. They're the man for a reason, right?
Super Bowl.
That's their right? But we don't have the EVO of invitationals.
Right.
This is just think about this is the EVO of it, right? EVO started to be the tournament from the start, right? And then now you got like tournaments from different tiers start coming up, right? And then it built the whole open bracket community, right? This is just the start. This is the EVO, right? The ELEAGUE, and then they're gonna start having more and more invitationals, like you know, other communities, other states or countries gonna start this.
So they set a great tone, you're saying.
And
I agree, man.
This
is
all good news in my opinion. So
that makes sense. So you know, now on a more lighthearted note, you know, 30 years Street Fighter anniversary. Man, what has Street Fighter done, or better yet, what does Street Fighter mean to FChamp?
So to me, I've been a fan of competitive gaming all my life. So it would not be fair for me to say like, you know, I won't do Street Fighter justice, because you got Daigo who's gonna say Street Fighter has been, you know, my life, and it's been something that's so important to him and special in a sense, right? Because it is, and and it just looks, you know, Daigo is the face of Street Fighter for so long now, and until now it doesn't matter, you know. And I don't think I can say that, because I still think that I'm new to the Street Fighter world, and I've never been a fan of just one game. I've been a fan of like multiple fighting games, but I came from real-time strategy. So my first love of competitive games would be StarCraft, and then Warcraft 3. Then I branched out to Street Fighter, and but Street Fighter, to me, what it means to me, I would say, is that I'm very grateful that it gave me something to make this as my career. It gave me that opportunity. So if there's one thing that I would be grateful, it would be that. You know, I owe them that. You know, and I owe Capcom, you know, my career. And I owe my hard work, like everything. And you know, in Capcom and my friends and fans, in a sense. So that to me, I don't really have a lot of like emotional connection into the franchise, just because I don't even know all the characters as much, you know.
Right.
But I'm very grateful to the opportunity that was given to me because of Street Fighter, because of like Marvel series, like Capcom, you know.
Okay, and you know, just a few more questions now. Speaking of what you just said, you know, you came from real-time strategies, you played other games. You know, you're like an all-around gamer, right?
Yeah.
Marvel
competitive gamer. I don't play. I don't play normal video games.
Oh, so we won't catch you on Mario Kart.
Oh, never. I didn't even play those. Even normal Mario.
Right.
From the gate, my very first game was StarCraft and Warcraft. Like I played straight like all competitive. Like I don't like playing the single-player game because I feel like why am I bothering playing against a computer? Who am I trying to beat here? Program? Like I don't even want to do that. I want to just do. I want to do everything competitive. So I'm a fan of like chess, for instance.
Okay.
Or like poker, for instance.
Right.
Or like anything that's just really competitive and straight up. Yeah. I want to beat the person.
Person.
Yeah. I don't want to beat a computer.
Right.
Yeah. You know.
Okay. So that still leads me to the next question then. Marvel versus Capcom Infinite. Even though you are a beast in Street Fighter, and many people regard you as being one of the best Dhalsim players in the world.
Sure.
This is your game, man.
Oh, yeah,
This is where you shine. This is where you do your thing.
Yes.
So what are you looking forward to? How do you feel about that game right now?
I'm very excited for the Marvel vs. Capcom series. It's like they made it to make it to make it more creative. So I like that idea. Compared to Street Fighter 5, they made it more limited, so it's not as creative. This one's the exact opposite. I could actually use a few of my traits as a player, because you know, like every player has their own trait, or they have their different type of skill set that they excel in different things, right? That's why people have different characters, right? You know, they're specialists of whatever. Yeah, that's their archetype. You know, they're very good in certain things. One thing that I didn't like about Street Fighter is that I can't use a couple of my traits, like being very creative in like situations. Breaking like being able to control like a lot of options because of coming up with a very good strategy that you could definitely appreciate on the screen, right? Because it's so open world and very creative. Like there's more defense, there's more like long neutral game and decision making. There's a lot of that when you play Marvel. There's a lot of decision making that you do, but in Street Fighter 5 there's some decisions and you have to be fast with those decisions, but every decision means so much. It's like the bomb. I got hit by the bomb. I was like Osama. You know what I mean? I got blown up by Boogie real quick.
Literally,
you know, like it was crazy. But like, there's not a lot of that. Like, you know, if you get blown up by the V trigger, you're dead, right? In Marvel, if you get hit by a ridiculous like thing, you could break a TC. You still have 33% chance. And on top of that, if you lose your character, you have 2 other characters that can come back in a sense, you know. So you have multiple chances in a way.
Okay.
Very excited for Marvel. Because I could, you know, I can honestly say that I'm gonna dominate.
Oh man, okay. You took the words right out of my mouth. I was gonna say you are definitely one of the guys to watch when it comes to Marvel, but you're already back.
Like
with your
I don't think a lot of people can say what I can say, that I've actually done everything to be done in Marvel 3. I've done it all. Like I've had like 5 Evo medals, 1 world title, 1 like 30 plus majors. Like did all the high stakes money match exhibition, produced content, traveled the world. I don't know what else to do. Like I see what I'm saying. Like I can't say that for my Street Fighter career, right? And like the difference on Daigo can say a bunch of stuff about Street Fighter, and I don't think a lot of people can say anything back. Right.
That's true.
You know, in Marvel, I can say that I've done it all.
You got the stripes in there.
Yes, I've done it all. Like I could honestly say I've created the meta and broke the meta and changed new metas throughout the history of the game. Man. So I could honestly say that. And to me, as long as I could maintain being top 5 in the world for Marvel Infinite, I'm happy with that. If I could be in top 5 in the world, you know, it doesn't
I like the fact that you said that.
It doesn't have to be number 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. You know, it could be just 5. Because if you're top 5 in the world, that means you can win at any point. You know what I'm saying?
Given time. So who are the other 4?
I think my prediction will be like there's like gonna be like there's gonna be a young gun's gonna come out of nowhere. It's gonna dominate.
So unknown player may come out.
For sure. Or it could be like one of the prospects. It could be like maybe Knuckle or Punk. I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh wow. Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised. You know, those kids are very talented. You know, I think maybe Nemo from Japan is a very good Marvel player. maybe another guy from Japan as well.
Yeah.
Then no question would be like Justin Wong and Chris G.
Yes,
I'm very confident in those
They're
two
gonna
guys.
be in there.
Yeah, for sure. They're gonna dominate. Yeah. Obviously, there's gonna be like some people like, you know, that could be argued in the top 5. Like, you know, this is like I'm talking about like if somebody watches this interview like maybe 18 months from now.
Yeah.
Right, and then they see this, you know, maybe it's a real prediction. Who knows? Like maybe like people, Yipes. If Yipes competes,
so we got
I
Yipes,
can see
Justin Wong,
Chris G,
you, and then
Ray.
Yeah.
And then you got like, you know, maybe Neo, Ricky Ortiz.
Yeah.
It's not I mean, that's not very hard to think about if they're gonna dominate or not. You know, because they've been great in all games that they played. So, so to me, like those are the guys that I could definitely see taking it.
Absolutely,
as well. As far like, also to me, winning one tournament doesn't really mean anything if you can't back it up with consistency. Right. So I'd rather be the guy that places top 8 consistently throughout the whole like 2 years. Than the guy who just wins one time and never gets there, like to the top 8. Like I don't want to be the one-hit wonder, you know. So my goal is always long-term. So
okay, man. So that's pretty good. And you know, just a couple more questions. You mentioned Punk, you mentioned Knuckle Dude, saying that those young guns, man, those young guns.
They're good.
Let me ask you about like fighting games in general, man.
Sure.
And this is one question I meant to ask Alex Valle when I interviewed him about this. Is there an age limit, man? Do you feel like there's a point where you kind of peak and just go downhill from there, you know, when it comes to fighting games?
So right now we can't say it yet because we don't have anybody that's too old.
There's no real data on it.
No, we don't have data, right? This is all like
Yeah.
assumptions at this point, because we don't have data yet, because technically our scene is still young.
Right.
We don't have like the history, like, you know, we could see like Wilt Chamberlain, right? You know what I mean? And you see like now LeBron, right? You have some years to look. Well, to me, my prediction would be, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Because, let me tell you why. I think the reason why a few of those kids are succeeding, there's no discredit on their talent or their ability to be ridiculous in the game. They're obviously good, and everything that they've done is legit. Okay, let's just get that out of the way. There's no discrediting here. I think the reasoning, it would be like, they have less responsibilities versus the guys that are, let's say for instance, I'm not talking for every top player, I'm talking about like in general, right? So I don't think it's the age.
Right.
It's every time when you age, you gain more responsibilities in life. Like, you know, you have to like do some things, and maybe some people get married, and some people like have to get a job or open a business. You know, some real life stuff. You know, and that sometimes affects the performance because your attention is divided. You know, I actually have a 9-to-5 over for NVIDIA. I decided to give my notice. And you know, I don't really need a job anymore because, you know, I'm very.
So you left already, huh?
I would like not bouncing, not left yet. Yeah, but
I mean, they do know. Not this interview is gonna be. They know already.
Okay, so
cool. I was about to block
it should be like you know, maybe a month or so, you know. But you have to be professional in a sense. But like I don't necessarily need a job. I'm very, very fortunate to have amazing sponsors to support me through my passion and do what I do without having to think about responsibilities anymore, you know, because everything's taken care of. Shout out to Splice, you know, all the sponsors for Splice are just amazing. You got Bud Light is just amazing people, and it's just a never-ending support. Like I feel so lucky to have those guys in my life, you know. So to me, as far as the age goes, let me tell you, like, look at Daigo, right? And Gamer B.
I was just gonna say
they're technically older. Gamer B is 38 years old. He got top 8 in 3 premieres. What are you gonna tell him? Like, what age are you talking about? You know how many 18-year-old, 16, 22-year-old he murked all the way there?
Floors with him.
Like, no, that doesn't make sense. Like, sure, there will be some exception to the rule. Like, there's always gonna be a prodigy. Right, since our scene expanded ×5, there's gonna be a couple that's gonna rise compared to everybody else. That's normal, right? You know, the more people you have, most likely there will be more top players you're gonna have, right? The bigger scene is, that means there's gonna be more top players. So to me, Punk is a product of that. You got, you know, Knuckle Dude's been around. This is nothing new. Knuckle Dude at the end of Street Fighter 4 was considered the best player of Street Fighter 4 in the country already. So that was nothing new. Like, he was capable of doing that. Okay. So aside from those two guys that I mentioned, who are the other young guys? Do you think?
Man.
Seriously, who are the other young guys? I mean, not to mention, like, I'm not saying that the young guys are not good.
There's quite a few
always,
come up, you know.
There's always gonna be.
CJ Truth did his thing at.
CJ Truth is not new.
He's not new.
He's been in finals since 2010.
He just started really young. So I see what you're saying.
He's a 7-year veteran.
Right.
Okay, he's a 7-year veteran.
I don't think he hit 21 yet, though, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I see your point, though. So it's not really the age. It's more the conditions and life circumstances and things that play into it more.
Knuckle-Du's been playing since 2010.
Right.
That's a 7-year veteran.
And I don't even think he's 21 yet either.
He's like he's 21 today, I think.
21. Oh, really? Okay. But yeah, he's been playing that long.
But then, now, he bloomed. All these experiences just kicks in, right? So, I mean, aside from Punk standing out, who are the other young guys standing, really performing? I'm talking about Street Fighter, okay? Like, who? Like, maybe there's like a couple in Japan. Maybe
everyone else is pretty much 25 or older, at least.
So I'm saying, like, maybe the theory is right. Maybe the age could be a factor, but we just don't have enough evidence to show for it. You know?
And you gave a really good breakdown as to why it may not even matter, because, you know, I do agree with you. The more responsibilities you have, the less time you have to spend in the lab and really sharpen up. So, all right, man. I mean, that's been a lot of different things that I've been able to sit down and talk to you about. Before I let you go, what's next for FChamp, man? What's next for you?
I guess I'm going to 60 more events this year. Okay. Excited for Marvel.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Yeah.
I'm going to Canada for some Bud Light event.
Okay.
I'm also doing a few Bud Light events throughout the year, so I'm kind of excited for that. Yeah.
All right, man. Thank you so much.
I'll be streaming soon. So
yes, tell them where they can find you, man.
Twitch.tv/FGTV Live. Also, you can follow me at FChamp Ryan on Twitter if you haven't.
Yes.
And I'll be streaming again. And also I haven't announced this. I'm actually gonna do. I don't know if you guys heard FGTV Live. Like I had a gaming house before for Marvel, and that's why I'm the product of it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do that again. I'm gonna have another gaming house with like elite players there.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I can't announce all of them yet.
Right.
But I can announce a couple.
That's big news, man. Talk to them.
It was like me, Ricky Ortiz, and Golden Boy Neo are gonna be there. There's still 2 more, or potentially 3 more, is gonna be there to train Marvel, like 20 hours a day or something. So it's gonna be very exciting, and I'm really, really looking forward to that. And we're probably gonna make that happen before Marvel comes out. So probably August or first week of September.
And where can we catch you guys doing that? Is it going to be live?
It's twitch.tv/FGTV Live, or excellent. It's going to be a lot of content out there.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with FGC News. It's your boy again, FGC Gama, signing out with FChamp.